teeming with microbes. In fact, when Craig Venter went and sequenced the microbes in the ocean in the first 3 months, tripled the known species on the planet. By discovering all new microbes in the first 20 feet of water, we now understand that those microbes have more impact on our climate and regulating CO2 and oxygen than plants do, which we always thought oxygenate the atmosphere. We find microbial life in every part of the planet, in ice, in coal, in rocks, in volcanic vents. It's an amazing thing. But we've also discovered when it comes to plants, in plants, as much as we understand and are starting to understand their genomes, it is the ecosystem around them. It is the microbes that live in their root systems that have just as much impact on the character of those plants as the metabolic pathways of the plants themselves. If you take a closer look at a root system, you will find there are many, many, many diverse microbial colonies. This is not big news to viticulturists. They have been, concerned with water and fertilization. And again, this is sort of my notion of shit against the wall pharmacology. Certain fertilizers make the plant more healthy, so you put more in. You don't necessarily know with granularity exactly what organisms are providing what flavors and what characteristics. We can start to figure that out. We all talk about terroir, we worship terroir, we say, wow, is my terroir great. It's so special. I've got this piece of land and it creates terroir like you wouldn't believe. Well, we argue and debate about it. We say it's climate, it's soil, it's this. Well, guess what? We can figure out what the heck terroir is. It's in there waiting to be sequenced. There are thousands of microbes there. They're easy to sequence. Unlike a human, they have 1,000, 2,000 genes. We can figure out what they are. All we have to do is go around and sample, dig into the ground, find those bugs, sequence them, correlate them to the kinds of characteristics we like and don't like. That's just a big database. And then fertilize. And then we understand what is terroir. So some people will say, oh my God, are we playing God? Are we now, if we engineer organisms, are we playing God? And people would always ask James Watson, he's not always the most politically correct guy, and they would say, are you playing God? And he had the best answer I ever heard to this question. Well, somebody has to. I consider myself a very spiritual person, and without, the organized religion part, and I will tell you, I don't believe there's anything unnatural. I don't believe that chemicals are unnatural. I told you I'm going to make some of you puke. It's very simple. We don't invent molecules, compounds. They're here. They're in the universe. We reorganize things. We change them around. But we don't make anything unnatural. Now, we can create bad impacts. We can poison ourselves. We can poison the earth. But that's just a natural outcome of a mistake we made. So what's happening today is nature is presenting us with a toolbox. And we find that this toolbox is very extensive. There are microbes out there that actually make gasoline, believe it or not. There are microbes, go back to yeast. These are chemical factories. The most sophisticated chemical factories are provided by nature. And we now can use those. There also is a set of rules. Nature will not allow you to, we could engineer a great plant, but guess what? We can't make the great plant produce babies. Nature has put a set of rules out there. We can work within the rules. We can't break the rules. We're just learning what the rules are. I just asked the question, if you could cure all disease, if you could make disease go away, because we understand how it actually works, if we could end hunger by being able to create nutritious, healthy plants that grow in very hard-to-grow environments, if we could create clean and plentiful energy, we, right in the labs at Synthetic Genomics, have single-celled organisms that are taking carbon dioxide and producing a molecule very similar to gasoline. So carbon dioxide, the stuff we want to get rid of, not sugar, not anything, carbon dioxide, a little bit of sunlight, you end up with a lipid that is highly refined. We could solve our energy problems. We can reduce CO2. We could clean up our oceans. We could make better wine. If we could, would we? Well, you know, I think the answer is very simple. Working with nature, working with this tool set that we now understand is the next step in humankind's evolution. And all I can tell you is stay healthy for 20 years. If you can stay healthy for 20 years, you'll see 150, maybe 300. Thank you.